guys? Welcome to Mosh. I'm Dave, and I'm joined with my co-host Justin, and we're here with our guests Afterdusk. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
What's up, guys? I'm Matt. I'm the vocalist for Afterdusk.
And I'm Jeff. I'm the drummer for Afterdusk.
And what style of music are you guys?
Whatever we want.
Metalcore.
Yeah, we're more like melodic metalcore, but we don't try to limit ourselves to like any one thing. So the goal is to be able to do whatever we want to.
It seems pretty common, dude.
Yeah.
No one wants to put themselves into a
label on it.
box. Yeah, it's like
When people
It's like
ask
a relationship.
what we do, I just
Put
say
new
metal.
labels on it.
Like, I don't even like to get like dorky. Well, technically, we're this. It's like we're just metal, dude. Like, listen to the music and you'll figure out which type you think it is. But there's a million subgenres. But
exactly. So how long have you guys been a band?
technically, 2.5 years now. 2 years. I don't know, dude. We were a different project before, made of the same guys.
I was going to ask you about that. Go into that. Tell us, like, because you started as a different band,
Yeah.
right? Because we played a show together, I think, in Pensacola.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I talked to you, and you were like, we're doing a little bit of rebranding. And then about, a year later or something like that, it was like,
back on the scene.
bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk about that.
Well, originally there were two different bands. I had my own band, and then the three other guys in the band had their own. They were a three-piece. And we met playing shows around, we met in Mississippi at a little like Irish pub that we were playing a show at. Never met each other.
Technically, we met each other at Taco Bell.
That's true. That's why we all have Taco Bell
in the
tattoos
drive-thru.
on our ankles.
Nice.
Yeah. We got different sauce packets.
All four of us.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a joke.
Oh, that's
No.
dope.
No, straight up. Like, yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, dude, these pants are perfect for this.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
that's
that's
dope.
so cool.
Chris
You got
gets here.
mild? Is that
Yeah, I got
mild?
mild.
Yeah.
Is this friendship? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Prove it.
We have a good buddy of mine named Cody who used to be in my old band, and he got the Verde sauce because it's a discontinued
Oh, yeah.
sauce packet, and
Nice.
he's a discontinued band member.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah. It says I'm with the band on his sauce packet.
that's so funny, dude. That's wicked good.
But so we actually met for like a quick second at that venue, and then both of us just separate from each other were like, let's go get some Taco Bell before the show. They were already there, and they were inside, and we were pulling through the drive-thru, and I'm seeing through the drive-thru window. I'm like, I think that's that band we're playing with tonight. And I said, hold on. I get out of the car while it's still in the drive-thru, and I peek my head around the side where the glass is, and he turns around and sees me for just a second. He goes and taps the guys on the shoulder. When they look back, I'm gone. And they're like, what are you talking about,
I'm the only
Jeff?
one who saw him.
Oh, really?
So I just was like a crazy person for like half the night. Like, I swear I saw that dude that was in that other band.
So anyway, we hit it off, became good friends, and then over the next like couple years, my
we moved
band
in together, started a family together. And
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah.
That's nice.
we did live together for a little while.
yeah, we lived together for like 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years.
In like a crack house in Mobile.
Basically. Yeah, basically. But we were good friends, played a lot of shows together, separate bands for a couple years, and then my members started to fall off one by one. I basically knew the time frame for some of them. Some of them were about to graduate college and go off to other states to get jobs. Others just weren't like trying to do that, like really chase it as a career. And so I hit him up and was like, hey man, I know these guys are going to be on their way out within the next year. Do you know anybody that I could go ahead and start training up and everything? And he was
And
like,
I went, me.
yeah.
Nice, dude.
And I was like, I don't want to take you from your other band. He said, no, I can do both. And I could just
I'm a
tell.
drummer. We're used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
He's still doing both, like him and
Yeah.
doing Ty Traher and stuff. But, and I knew just like from the enthusiasm, I was like, he means that, and he'll be there, and we're good friends and everything. So I was like, cool. Then same thing happened with my guitarist, and then I asked Chris, and he did the same thing. He's like, I want to be a part of it. I'm like, dude, that's two members of that band that's going to be in my band now. But it ended up working out. As those guys fell off, these guys joined. Same thing with Corey, our bassist. And then we were just going to stay my band's old name for a while because they were kind of thinking we want to do more metalcore because they were doing like a hardcore band, like a Beartooth style.
It was very, very hardcore Beartooth.
Yeah, it was like Beartooth and Norma Jean type thing.
And your project at the time was very like 2000s metalcore vibes.
Right. Like Mice and Men, Memphis
Yeah,
Mayfire.
but y'all
type
had just
stuff.
got into that. Y'all were playing like butt rock before.
Boy, were we? Yeah, dude.
They were like 3 songs deep to metalcore.
We
and
were.
The rest of their back catalog was like Breaking Benjamin ripoffs.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. I grew up
Yeah.
loving Breaking
Yeah.
Benjamin and 3 Days Grace and Skillet and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's dad rock. I still love that crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I got with these guys. We were gonna stay under that old name, and then Chris, like I said, they were doing like hardcore stuff, and he's like, all I listen to is metalcore, so I don't know why I've been writing hardcore stuff for like years now. And his first song that he wrote was Unholy Ghosts. That's the first song on our record.
Yeah.
And we wrote 3 songs, and then we were going to record it as an EP and release it under that old band name. And then we ended up meeting our good friend now, Jonathan DeLeese. He was living in Louisiana at the time, like 20 minutes out from New Orleans. We went out there, recorded with him, and then we were instantly like, dude, this is the best stuff any of us have ever done. Like no matter the project, it's just leagues above what we've done, which, largely thanks to one, like we were just shocked at how much better the music was coming out with the 4 of us writing together. It was like we just been waiting to meet each other, basically.
Oh, that's so
And
cute.
then
It is.
it is. Yeah.
It is.
And then
Welcome to this episode of Love Triangle.
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. And then I think Jonathan was the missing puzzle piece, And then
Yeah.
so the next time we went out there to record a few more songs, we were like, we've got to rebrand, guys, because we were just gonna like record that, release it, and then we were like, no, let's hold on to these 3 and do some more songs, because the last thing we want to do is drop a 3-song EP and then disappear for a year.
Yeah.
We're like, why don't we just disappear for a
it
year
was,
first?
It was 2020 anyways. We weren't doing anything.
Right.
Everything was locked down.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so we were like, oh, we can take as much time as we want
Yeah.
in the studio to, figure out what this new thing is and
Right.
if it's a new name.
Dude, that is a
and-
wild
yeah.
thing. Like,
So it lined up so perfectly.
yeah, with COVID, like I have it's weird. Like you don't realize like what bands were going through, like
Yeah.
because
Well,
like all of us just want to get on stage, and then it's
Right.
like everything's shut down. It's like, what do we do? Like,
Right.
we released an album right at the beginning, March of 2020. Yeah.
That was
It
our
was-
last show.
It was
at-
brutal. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I guess it worked out, but it's just like, yeah, it sucked, dude. I was just like, Florida was cool. I think you guys know Florida was it was the wild, wild
Florida-
east. So we were
Florida
like, oh
did
yeah, we're
not
still playing.
shut down.
But it was one of those things like you had to go into every show. Like, should we do this? Like,
Right.
Oh,
like
there-
especially in
yeah.
the beginning
There
because you
was
were
even
like,
that,
yeah,
in the beginning with the scene as a whole, because
Yeah.
like I remember we were a year into it and there was a couple bands that were like, let's just start it, let's rip the Band-Aid off,
Yeah.
someone's got to do it, these
Yeah.
venues aren't making any money anyways,
yeah,
so they started playing shows at Music Box and not so much in Pensacola, but around
yeah. We had the downtown music hall was doing it, and
Yeah.
he was really wanting to push for
and
shows coming up.
they got under fire, even though like they explicitly stated,
Come at your own risk.
come at your own risk. We're doing this so the venues will be here when we get back.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
these venues are literally
Yeah.
going under.
Yeah, that was one
And
of
there's
my,
been a lot of them that have gone out. Like 1908 is closing down in Jacksonville. I'm sure that had an effect on that.
Right.
Archetype is now closed.
Isn't Chain Reaction?
I have
Or are
no
they
idea.
still open?
I don't know.
But there was a lot of iconic
Yeah.
venues that shut down
Yeah.
because of that, and a lot of venues got bought up by.
Black Rock.
No, no, that's a whole nother podcast.
They're
that's
the
a
ones
whole
that,
nother podcast.
They're the
Somebody
ones that
buying
own the
something
company
Black
that.
Rock.
Live Nation.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Live
Nation. A lot of places during the pandemic, and they're in a much worse place because of it now. And we see what's happened with Live
Yeah.
Nation ticket prices and scalping and everything else. It's just gotten 10 times worse. That's because they own the venues now too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not leasing; they own them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was one of my big issues during that whole weird transitioning period, like where I would see things online, people like shaming each other for going to shows and stuff, and I'm like, had been a couple years, so everyone had time to marinate and stew in whatever information that they'd gotten about it and whatever your opinions about it were. But like at that point, I was like, okay, we're not going to live like this forever. Obviously, like no one wants to just like never happen for the music industry and everything to shut down and just be a thing of the past. That's not happening. So at some point, someone's got to break this, cycle.
Yeah, but
And
whoever goes first is going to take a lot of shit from
Yeah,
everyone else.
exactly. And they
No
did.
matter what.
Yeah, no
And they
matter what
did.
scene you're
Yeah.
in.
But my
yeah.
issue was at that point, it was like we had a better understanding of it. We had like the vaccine was out, so whatever your opinions of that are, it was out. It doesn't matter what you think if it works, if it doesn't work. Regardless, it's out now. What else are we waiting on to get started? And then people just acted like no one has any agency. Like people, it's like if someone goes out to the show, they went out to the show. Like no one is going to people's houses at gunpoint and be like, come out and risk your family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one is making you go to
exactly,
the show. So people that went out, they understood the risk.
Yeah.
You know?
Or hopefully they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to make this a COVID
yeah.
episode.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah, no.
Not at
But
all.
like all that to say, like it was a rough time and no one
Yeah.
knew what the hell was going on. But we were so lucky because we were at like that turning point as a band, like where we were able to take that time and make use of it in the studio to write an album, to come up with this next chapter of our lives of what we're doing. Right. I remember that day to the T, where we were at the studio, and it was still like in the middle of the pandemic. We were having to wear masks going to Walmart in Louisiana while we were at the studio with Jonathan. But there was one morning where he was like, y'all really, this music is above everything else either project has ever done. We need a new name. We need to rebrand completely. And that night, we all went down to the pool, and we spent hours just coming up with band names, just trying to figure out what would work. And we came up with Afterdusk right there by the pool, by his old studio. Came in the next morning and threw some ideas with him and Ty, who's our graphic designer.
Yeah.
And graphic design extraordinaire. I think that's his correct title.
Yeah.
He makes me say that.
Oh, okay.
But then
It's on his business card.
Everyone loved it, and that's where it was born. When it was born was like middle of the pandemic.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure everything out, and I mean, it just couldn't have worked out more perfectly.
Right. I remember we were like a little when we realized like that's what we need to do. There was a little bit of disappointment because we'd been dying to release music for like a long time, especially together. Because we'd been playing shows together for like a year and writing, and then we got into this groove where we're like, okay, now we kind of figure out how to work together. This is how we can chug out songs. Because at first we didn't quite know how to approach that. It was the first time those guys had tried writing this style of music. And I'm not like I don't write guitar and stuff like that. Like that's Chris's job, He's infinitely better than all of us at it. Don't let us touch that. But yeah, we were like, we wanted to release those 3 songs like in a couple months. But now we realize it's probably a better idea to just wait a whole freaking year and just stockpile songs so that when we release these songs, they'll be old to us. We'll be tired of them. We'll have heard them a million times, and we'll be, when we play them live, it won't be that fun because we've practiced it. But to other people, it's brand spanking new. They have no idea, and they don't care. It's fresh to them. That way,
we know you missed out on
And
that.
that's what made it. That's what made it worth it. It kind of like brought new life into the songs whenever we were finally able to like release them and let people bounce ideas off of them and pull meaning from them and play them live.
And we also knew no one was waiting for us to release music. Like no one knew we existed, so there was no pressure.
Oh,
There was there was no reason to hurry up about it because no one's waiting on it. So we're like, well, we might as well get it set up to where if we release something, because we are a brand spanking new band with like 0 following outside of the people who knew who we were before the rebrand, if you just release an EP and then you don't release anything for a year and a half, you're dead in the water. Like, no one's going to remember your little EP. No one's going to, you know what I mean? So I was like, well, let's just build up enough content to bombard them for an entire year.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had
Smart.
a shit ton of content that you could push for a long period of time to keep yourself in the viewing public.
Yeah.
Because it's a fucking business.
Yeah, we had people
Oh, you guys
asking
know
us-
it. Thank you. All
Yeah.
right. Hey.
Yeah, our top here is done. We can leave.
We had people asking us, like, they're like, when are you going to shoot the next music video, or when are you going to release the next EP, or go record the next EP? And I was like, well, the next one's been recorded for like 8 months. And they're like, what do you mean? And we're like, the one after that's been recorded for like 5 or 6 months. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, dude, we're like 4 steps ahead because we really want to.
Dude, that's awesome.
We don't ever want to go like this extremely long amount of time with like a drought in content, especially when you're this small. You can afford it if you're like a much bigger like household name.
Yeah.
But not when you're young like that.
I mean,
like
even right now, like we got 4 songs in the chamber ready to go. We're literally messaging ideas today about shooting music videos and setting dates and everything. We have more time set in the studio for a couple months later to finish up some more songs. Like, we just been
too busy.
So
everybody's on the same page, and everybody's
That's one thing that I think we're really grateful to have is like a band that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And we all hang out with each other. We're all friends. We're not just band members. Like, we're friends first.
You don't just show up on a Tuesday at 6
good.
every Tuesday.
Right.
We're friends first and band members second. So that plays a huge role in our dynamics and how we can operate as a business. And we all have pretty much defined roles in our business.
Yeah.
Where, Chris is the head songwriter. He is a master at doing all that stuff. And Corey does some graphic design here and there. He's kind of like the handyman of the band, where he's good at almost everything, and anything you need help with, like, he's down. He's going to be helping like rebuild the interior of our bus.
Nice.
Like, stuff like that. And then and Matt
cooks for us.
Yeah. And he's actually a master chef. It's insane. And like me and Matt, we do all the business stuff on the side.
Social media and
social
all that.
media. We don't
Emails.
have a manager. We don't have a booking agent. We do all of that stuff ourselves. And we, do the books. We make sure that people are getting paid. We're reaching out to contacts and trying to set stuff up. So it really is like running a full-time business.
Yeah.
On top of anyone at this level is working a day job.
Right.
There's no facade there.
Yeah.
So it's on top of all of that. So you're working like 80 hours a week trying to make this shit happen. And
Yeah,
make that dream come to
exactly.
life.
Working weekends.
No, it's-
trying to
I was so
I
excited
feel
that
you.
we got the chance to sit down with you guys because, like, I mean, I moved here from Boston. I met him on a whim because I was at a show and saw that they played it with Attila.
Yeah.
And then, like, my band was semi-successful for up north and stuff. And then when I got here, I just started looking at the local scene and found out about Worthy because I felt like they were doing the right thing. And then I saw you guys, and it was just like something about your appearance, how you operate online and stuff on social media. I was like, damn, these guys, they're on track. Like, I'm not trying to pump your tires, but like we're
just a bunch of copycats. We're like, what's working for other people?
Well,
dude,
no.
I say that in past episodes too. Yeah.
So no, I know. Like the second I saw you guys when you rebranded, right, and the second I saw you guys play a show, I've honestly copycatted you guys because before that we were all dudes on stage. I feel bad. Like, all right. So, anyways, this is probably embarrassed Ben, but Ben was wearing like carpenter jeans, like with the loop on the side, and it looked like he had, like, we were like, we don't have a vocalist tonight. Can you do it? Like that's what. And honestly, I think I used you guys as an example. I was like,
offense, Ben.
I was like, look at those guys. I was like, they're all dressed. They look like they're in a fucking band. Like, we got to look like we're in a band when we go to the. So, like,
and to your point,
from show one, I knew. I was like, they got their shit together. Those guys got their shit together.
And now we're to the point where, like, we both get featured on Orion Reacts the same week, and he's like, y'all are friends?
He said they know
y'all
each
from
other?
the same place?
Yeah.
Y'all are
That was so
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, dude. I was going to touch on the point where you guys were talking about your songs that you had in the chamber, and you'd saved them for a whole year. Wasn't it awesome to get on stage and, like, day one of you guys playing your new music to everybody else, but you were so relaxed because it's like, I've been playing this for a fucking, I've been going through these vocals for a year. I've been playing these drum riffs for a fucking year.
That'll never happen again.
Yeah. But in that,
Right.
well,
Bro, this
it'll
next
happen at the
cycle-
tail end of a
this
cycle.
next
Right.
cycle is stressing me the hell out. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, we had so much prep time.
Yeah.
Like, we had endless time before, and now it's like, okay, the pressure's on. Like, we need to get these music videos done. We need to get all this other stuff done.
Not to mention,
we need to know these songs and play them live.
Yep.
And they're the hardest songs we've written today.
not
When
to
you had to have
mention,
them more
like,
perfect than the older one.
everything is more expensive now for two reasons. One, inflation's been absolutely insane in the past 3 years. The second thing is because, like, everything we do, we want to make sure we're outdoing the last thing we did. So when it comes to music videos, we're like, okay, you know, like, if y'all have seen any of our videos, like, we did what looks great, but is, like, within our budget, but, like, we're not, like, we didn't limit ourselves. We're like, we're willing to spend a lot of money to make sure we had a great product, and we work with people that we really want to work with, and they get paid the appropriate amount for their services.
Yeah.
But there were limits to that. We can't do, you know, like, that video that Ronnie Radke just did with, like, Falling in Reverse, where he's shooting laser beams out of his eyes.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
But
Not yet.
the concept of those videos, right, not yet. But the concept of those videos were, like, more based on, like, how interesting is the surroundings we're playing in. So, and obviously we hit all of the stereotypes. We hit the abandoned warehouse and the old dilapidated haunted hospital and an outdoor one on the side of a cliff that looks like a mountain or whatever.
And then the black and white, green old school.
Right. So
now you just need the girl running through
I
the
knew
forest
you
with
were
the
gonna
lantern,
say that.
with her lantern, and then she stares into the mirror, and then the mirror breaks.
Oh my God,
then
dude.
she's in
I
the
mean,
bathtub.
come on. There's only so many things you
somebody
can do.
has some black goop fall out of their nose. You know what I mean? Like, but
Now it's on the ground.
right.
Zoom.
But with these next videos, we're trying to do some things where it's like, we want these next videos to be. We were proud of those last videos.
Come on, videographers, be more
quality
creative.
was there.
Hey,
That's
I
what
watched
Justin's
your
trying to
videos
say.
and then contacted your videographer. So if that gives you, so I was like, oh shit, that's
Shout out
fucking
Aaron.
dope.
No, Aaron,
Yeah.
dude, he's a phenomenal dude, and he goes 90 to nothing.
Yeah, he
Like,
does.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
His workflow is insane. He also shoots for the
Jaguars.
The Jaguars.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And he does content for, like, Amazon products with his wife. They shoot nonstop. It's their life. They, like, eat, sleep, and breathe.
Right.
Like,
Dude,
That's
I love
really cool.
people like that.
He's on tour with Memphis Mayfire right now.
yeah,
shooting
we're
their
actually
videos,
going to go hang out with
cool.
them tomorrow.
photos.
Oh, is it up in Birmingham or
Soul Kitchen.
Oh, Soul Kitchen. That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
And he was just on tour with I Prevail doing the same thing for them.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I wonder
Yeah.
if he knows my buddy Ian. You gotta ask him.
Maybe.
Which one is he?
Ian Urquhart. He lives up in Boston, but
Does he work with like I Prevail or?
yeah, he was their photographer.
Oh, okay,
Oh, okay.
gotcha. He
So, yeah, he
probably
probably
does
worked
then.
with
He
them.
probably,
Yeah, they probably worked right alongside each other.
probably.
Yeah, it's crazy. The scene up north is so freaking cool. I miss all the people up there. But it's cool, like, because now, like, I almost feel like the scene down here is just flourishing as well. You know, it's like
It really is. Ever since like I hate to bring it up again, but after the pandemic,
yeah, you're not
when
allowed.
everything
We're gonna
everything was
blanket
lifted,
that out.
I feel like the scene just like picked up exactly where it left off, especially in Pensacola. And
Oh, dude,
it
people
just
want to go
shot
to
off.
shows. People
dude,
want to go. It's like I've been
that
locked up
couple-
for 2 years,
Yeah,
man.
that coupled with
Yeah.
the handlebar reopening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was like-
yep.
That was huge.
And looking amazing in that place. That
Yeah.
he Robert did. It was mainly Robert.
A lot
right?
of it was Robert, to
Yeah.
my knowledge.
We're
He did
pandering
it.
to
he
him
had,
right now.
he had
He's
the
such a
vision.
good job on
Yeah.
Dude,
that bar
incredible.
because you played it before.
Yeah.
It was
Cut our teeth there.
yeah,
it's a clear
it
yellow.
it was
Yeah.
it had a nostalgic thing, but man, it looks amazing in there. He did if you're watching Robert, you did a great job.
I was
it's
saying we're
awesome.
pandering to him.
I am pandering to him a little bit. I think he's the next interview. So yeah,
Heck yeah.
Oh, cause he's got a very. I have a lot of questions for him because
Because I remember when like he was doing his own venue down there.
he had the night moves.
Night Moves,
yeah, Night Moves.
And then
We played with Afterlife there.
yeah.
yeah, we played with
Oh, nice.
we played with a bunch of local bands there. It was it wasn't a good night for me, but it's whatever. I'll lay that out. It was-
But yet to see
wasn't a good
where
night for
he
me.
came from and what he's doing now, it's so refreshing because I see a lot of that in the scene. Like you see the people that drop off, you know, that the
Right.
band doesn't work out, they petter out and everything. And then you see the people that have been there from the start and they may be doing something else than what they started on, but they are like gaining traction and actually like accomplishing things. And it's so cool to be a part of that over the years and see people like him and people like Bryce Ballinger who started out with like a promotions company, and now he's going on tour running lights for Miss May I, like doing really, really cool stuff.
That's awesome, man.
Like people like Jose, from Vagrants.
Vagrants,
Yeah.
he's in
You know,
the word
to
alive
see
now, man.
What they
Yeah.
did. Our old band, our first recordings were with Jose.
Ours were too. Yeah.
And to see what he's doing now with the word alive and everything, like it's just amazing. Like it's people like there's a lot of shit talk that goes on between like people and everything, but
in the scene,
but it doesn't get brought up like how awesome a lot of people are in the scene. Yeah. Like there's a lot of really, really cool people, a lot of people that really, really love what they do, and they put the hard work in, and you can tell. And those are the people worth like becoming friends with and, learning from. Right. That's one thing that we are always students. We can be teachers sometimes, but we're always students. Like we always got something new to learn. There's always something that we don't know about the industry. I've had some really
That's why we started this, is to learn.
I've
been doing this stuff since I was like 16 years old, and then got out of the military and just grinded my ass off. And like every day I'm like, oh shit, that's how that's done. Like, it blows my mind, dude. But it's so cool. I'm glad you brought that up, because like last episode we were talking with, or 2 episodes ago with Griffin. And I was just talking about how like we had a photographer that came on board with us, and then to watch her grow like outside of just working with us and becoming like a touring photographer. And then I brought up Ian, like he's on tour with I Prevail and doing all these cool things, and you're almost like you want them to succeed more than you, it's like kind of fun to be a part of that ride,
That's even with Aaron, like the videographer that we had. We played a show with It Lies Within, I think was the name of the band, at that old Handlebar. And he was on his first tour as a photographer. On that show, and it was like Outlast the End, I think. We played it. But
shit, I think I played that show with you guys.
It might have been.
Bands played.
Yeah, I think I played that show with you guys.
Yeah. But he hit us up and he was like, "Hey, do y'all want a reel? I'm trying to make some extra money. It's his first tour." And we were like, "Yeah." And he was awesome, and I just kept following him on like Instagram and Facebook and everything. And he went from that to touring with Memphis Mayfire, and a bunch of other big bands, and like really started blowing up. And we made that connection and like followed him all throughout that. And then when we were ready to actually get to the point where we could do music videos, he was at the point where he was like making awesome music videos already. We were like, hey, let's hit up our old friend Aaron. And it was awesome. It's like little stuff like that. You never know when it'll come back around in the end.
Right. He did some videos for Slaves before they changed their name to Rain City Drive. Awesome videos. We were just like, holy crap! Like, yes, let's.
He did a really good job on y'all's videos. Did he do the Vagrants videos too?
No. I don't know who did those.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Those are great though.
A couple for Code for Canvas.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. But he did the latest live video for Memphis Mayfire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And a couple others. I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's better when your friends are actually good too.
Yeah.
That's
when you're like, this content is nasty.
We've talked about that so much that like when we rebranded and we met Jonathan, it just felt like we just started meeting people, and we were like, holy crap, because like I can't name anybody really off the top of my head, but we all know that in this industry there's going to be snakes. There's going to be people that are out to take advantage of other people, not because of this industry. It's just anything that involves humans, somebody's out to fuck stuff up.
Humans, when it involves humans and money.
Right, humans and money, it's going to be a problem. And so we were instantly really cautious where we're like, okay, everybody we work with, we want to be like really cautious, and not let anyone take advantage of us, and try to think for ourselves, take advice, obviously, and learn, but like, we just don't want to be like one of those bands that we grew up watching the documentaries of, like, like when A Day to Remember like signed a contract that completely screwed them when they were much younger, or like 30 Seconds to Mars. We've all heard those stories about people they work with, or like whether it be contracts, whatever. Mm-hmm. So we're like, well, let's be really smart. We want to know as much about this stuff as we can. And so what we didn't expect was for literally like the first people we meet of almost every part of our team that we needed filling ended up being an incredibly genuine, lovely person that didn't just like do a great job to help build us up, but they became involved in our personal lives in like an extremely just caring way. Like,
That's
I don't
awesome,
see
dude.
Jonathan as just like our producer. That is like, he's an indispensable friend. Like, I fucking love that guy. Same thing with Aaron, our lawyer.
Same thing with Ty.
Yeah, Alex Plexima.
Alex,
Yeah, and Alex represents some really, really
so
big,
many people.
big bands,
Yeah.
Spirit Box and Beartooth and everything.
Oh,
And we're
damn.
just like incredibly blessed to have like met people like that. And then they'll call us up and be like, "Hey, how's life?"
Yeah,
They don't want to talk
awesome.
business. They just
Yeah.
want to know,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, that's
"Hey, how's your wife?" You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
cool.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
what
could
we
probably,
did.
those, I feel like, you know, you guys have only been around, you said 2 years, right? Like,
Roughly.
as After Dusk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's after like a certain amount of time where those people will reach out to you, like seeing that you've been doing this for a while, like, hey, I actually have this great opportunity for you. Cause it's like, now you've proven you can go out and do like,
Yeah.
cause I know you guys play in the Southeast, but dude, we got to get you guys on a run like up north or something like that. And like, I'll work with him if you guys want us to put something together, but
Yeah.
I guarantee it would open up doors for you. Like, I know you're on board with this, but I can't.
I want to go with them.
Yeah, right. I know.
I love going on those runs. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Have you guys been on any
See,
like
we're-
extensive runs at all?
We're
Nothing
kind of the
extensive.
exact. We really focus on like the online presence first. In this day and age, and it's so not business savvy sometimes to go on some of those runs, especially when you're like starting out and you're not, going out with bigger bands. You're going out with people the same caliber, maybe a little bit,
Right.
more popular than you. But we've been very hesitant to do that. Because
Well, I want to slap both of you right now.
I'm telling you right now, I know, because I know all of the people that have been in the scene for forever that spent all the years cutting their teeth, like playing those shows. That was the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Now touring is so expensive
Right.
Oh yeah.
that Avenged Sevenfold just said that their regular tour buses cost $2 million more for this upcoming tour.
Yeah.
Like expenses, gas, literally everything. Prices of shirts to print.
Right.
The food, everything you can think of has gone up. The price of renting buses, the price of everything has gone up.
And
It's made it a
everybody.
lot harder for people to tour in general, much less smaller bands, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we're thinking, all right, we only have $1,000 to spend, are we going to do that on a 5-day run where we might play to 10, 15 people a night, and we'll make some genuine connections, and we'll play our asses off to everyone, but we're probably going to end up coming out of pocket for all of that anyways.
Right.
Or can we do a couple live Q&As on Instagram, do some bonus content, upload some live show content online, and then put that $1,000 behind that and sponsor it and try to reach more people that way. So that way when we finally get to those places that we're trying to play, people already know that we exist.
Right. It's kind of like we're just trying to like slowly branch out from where we're already at, because like so our producer also works with Kane Hill. And we're becoming friends with those guys, really sweet guys, and they allowed us to open up for them on actually this past 420 out in New Orleans, hometown show for them because they're from there, and we thought, what a wonderful opportunity to meet some of the local talent, form a relationship with those guys, but then also, obviously, if we went to New Orleans before that, because we've only played there twice now,
Yeah.
no one in New Orleans, other than a few people that we can see like through our
On
like
Spotify.
Spotify
Yeah.
apps, know who we are. So we're not going to attract anybody. So we would have to find somebody who's already a little bit established there to bring a crowd, and then maybe 10 to 20% of that crowd liked us enough to go check us out after. Maybe it's more. I don't know. I'm trying to be extremely, just. I'm not going to say like not everyone that comes to a show and sees you is going to care. Some people like, it's not for me. So we wanted to hit it we're trying to find ways to hit cities near us where it's like people are coming even if it's not for us, and then there will be a percentage of those people that will come back the next time they hear that we're coming.
Yep.
So
And I'm gonna say something that might piss off a lot of like people that have been in the scene for a while. there's no reason. I'm not going to go absolutes. There's should be like 90% no reason that you play to an empty room now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There are so many ways. If you just go the old school way and you put up posters downtown and you talk to people and you go shake hands, right? You'll get some people out to your show. But now through you just have a new social media app that just came out, Threads, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything that we have, you can sponsor posts, direct them to those locations, like push it on people that like that type of music.
Yeah.
Point it towards them. There should be no reason you play to 0 people anymore.
Yeah.
The only reason is if they show up once and you suck and they don't come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so
yes, sometimes you have to like look inside yourself, like, okay, maybe they're not
I've told
coming because
every band that every band that I've tried to book over there downtown music hall, I'm like, you should be pushing your show. I'm like, every show that we've ever played in the last.
Because I know you're the best
last
at
2
it in
years.
the scene.
Yeah,
You sponsor everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
There's a lot of money. There's a lot of my paycheck that goes towards. I at least do like at the least I do a 30-day $1 a day promotion of every show that we ever play in any location.
Yeah,
and like
all
I've
of
even
the
got
professionals do that too.
We've even come up with a marketer.
Yeah, they always
now
make a video like, "Hey, what's up, Boston? We're coming to you."
Yeah, And going forward, it's only going to get better. Like I told him, I was trying to plan runs this year. Things didn't work out, but we had a marketer on point. He's like, I just promoted a run not too long ago, and they sold out everywhere they went. I'm like, well, I'll be coming to you here in a second when I get all these dates booked. And I'm like, I don't understand it. It's $30, and even with like that $30, we'll get 40, 50 people in the door just from us. Right. It's like, and then if each band was doing that and we were getting 40, 50 people from 4 bands, that's what, fucking almost 160 to 200 people.
Yeah.
Right.
Did I do my math right this time? Last time I did it, I said 6 and
I checked out.
5.
I checked out.
Yeah.
You started saying numbers and we all just went.
Everybody should promote their.
Burr.
I come from, I'm from a different day and age where like I thought all this shit was impossible. You know? I come from the 90s and watching MTV in the 80s, and you had to be the top of the top in order to do things.
It was a monoculture.
But now we're doing a fucking interview. You used to have a camera crew and all that sort of shit, and we just bought a couple things and put it together, and we got some phones, and we're doing an interview podcast right now. Like, to me, all this shit is
someone
super
in Europe
cool.
or Australia could be listening to it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A couple
I hope
decades
they are,
ago, our album would have been impossible.
Yeah.
The album that we made, being independent, we're completely independent. We funded that with these like 4 guys just splitting everything 4 ways. And people are like, how'd you do it? I'm like, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of work.
That was before we were even a band, so there was no revenue coming from streaming or from merch or anything. That was all out of pocket for that whole first album.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to mention that. That's the hard part that I go up and down with, is like trying to figure out like the runs and everything. Like, I'm like, you got to get, because you still talk to people and they're like, you got to get out there. I'm sure you've talked to people that say, you got to get out there. You got to go. You got to go play shows, right? Yeah. And you're like, but then there's the same thing you're saying. It's like, well, should I sit back and focus on this rather than go do that? And like trying to find that. And then like I've had band members that have been like, whoa, we should focus on this. I'm like, well, how are we going to pay for this? Mm-hmm. Like, are you going to give me money?
Right.
And they're, and it's like, well, playing shows is how we get money. So we need to play shows to get money to go. And then the reason I'm like scheduling them all over the place, so we're not saturating our market.
Right.
And it just becomes this. It's a good thing you guys got your shit together. That's basically what I'm saying. And that you guys are all focused on one singular thing. You all got your shit together. Right. You all have like the same goals and you're working towards the same things. And I think that's awesome.
Well, we try not to be, for lack of better terms, I guess, economically illiterate about things, because I've seen a lot of bands that say the same thing, where they're like, to make money that doesn't come out of pocket, we got to play shows. But then what the band members will do is all 4 of you will take off a day of work. And I'm like, if you all 4 are willing to like just not go to work that day to play the show, if you just did go to work and then took all the money that all 4 of you made from that day of work and put it together, it'd probably be like 4 times the money you made off that little piddly show.
Yeah.
Which that sucks, but like when you're starting off, that's just kind of how it is. So if you're just willing to accept that from the beginning and be like, dude, I want this more than anything in my life, I'm just willing to sacrifice for it, man. I won't go to Starbucks this week. I won't buy that new game for the PlayStation 5, whatever. Just like sacrifice those little things to build a foundation. Like what he was talking about earlier, it's really cool now. Like we're not making tons of money, but now we're actually starting to see every month a return on streaming that is substantial. You know, like getting like $300 to $400 from like, holy shit, like we just made that from streaming in a month. That might pay for, you know, like the next song. Yeah. You know, or what, or half, you know, half of it, whatever. Now
put it towards
cuts
merch
what we,
and stuff.
Yeah, merch.
Exactly.
It'll cut like our personal expenses like in half, and sometimes it just flat out pays for things. And that's really, really fulfilling.
Yeah.
But that's the foundation that you have to lay. You have to be willing to lose a lot of money at first.
Yeah.
Lay a good foundation, and then you'll start seeing returns. Yeah. You know,
we just started making some decent money to where like I just started funneling it back into promotion. So every month now, all of our DistroKid, I don't know, you guys use DistroKid or something similar to that. Every time, like, so I just go in there at the end of the month and I'm like, oh, we made like $150 or whatever. I just turn around and I put that into promotion for whatever, Google promotions or Facebook or Instagram, all that sort of, and then I send it back out and it's just kind of circulating itself and
it snowballs.
And like this past month, we were actually able to put out a promotion and put money into our VIP account for merch down the road. And I'm like, holy shit, like it's actually kind of paying for itself now. You know, and then like when I go out to shows, and that's what I was, you know, I would tell my bandmates now is like, cause we used to just do everything would just be towards the band. I would drive everywhere. I bought a trailer to haul shit, tried to make it as easy as possible on everybody. Like just meet me here. I'll drive. Don't worry about the gas. Just throw everything in the trailer, you know, so we're all self-sufficient. We can just go in my Tahoe or my Escalade, and then we'll just go. And then like when we have shows where they do have to drive, if this thing's feeding itself with the promotion, and we're not saving up for something big, you know, right then and there, I can give you gas money, and then you know, like I want to just be able to give, like when I get paid for the shows, is like go like, oh man, you needed new sticks, bro. Here, dude, go buy yourself some new sticks, or like we're on the road. Oh fuck, your mic broke. Let's go buy a new mic.
Yeah, exactly.
We're an LLC now, so we're having to navigate through all that weird crap. The taxes.
They can do it, but you can't.
All of that stuff.
Oh my god,
they're in a different scenario than I am right this second.
Well, we did it because we just had money coming from too many locations. Now each location, it wasn't like massive amounts, but it was like a little bit from this website, a little bit from that one, and it's all like going to personal people's bank accounts, and then it's up to us to split that off, go to the bank, take it out, put it together, and it was like, dude, we need to centralize.
It affects your taxes personally too, like for each person. If you have like X amount of money coming in,
Not to mention there were things we needed that were like, okay, we don't have $6,000 right now to drop on getting all the gear that we need to upgrade our shows, but we need that like ASAP. So we're like, we don't want to put that on any one person's credit.
So we became our own label.
So now it's on all 4 of our credits, split up because we're co-owners of the business. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we got a business credit card. We got an IEM rack the second we got it.
Nice.
So.
And like we're actually, you know, investing in ourselves and then paying that off. It's, you know, like you said, it's really awesome to get to that point where it's like, oh,
it's equal stakes too.
I don't have to put so much money into this.
Well, then it
I might actually get some back.
Well, another thing is too, is it kind of relieves you of the stress of like, you don't have to figure out how to funnel money into that one specific thing. Like it just takes that kind of weight off. It's like, okay, I know that money right there is allocated for this right here, and I don't have to worry about it at the moment, you know, and hopefully it keeps coming in. It just feeds itself, you know, and hopefully it gets to a point, hopefully with you guys and with my guys, it's like it gets to a point where, because there's only so much money you should be throwing into promotion, you know, and hopefully that money I can start just like divvying it out to guys. It's like, I know you got to save up for stuff. I know you need new cymbals. You guys always need new cymbals. Oh, yeah. You guys always need new cymbals. Jesus Christ.
Even
you know how many bands I've seen that needs Everybody always needs new cymbals.
Music video cymbals.
Yeah. And But yeah, that's what I'm always trying to build to. It's just kind of getting there and keeping everybody on the same page while you're going through that hard time of, trying to work through that. It sucks. But yeah, man, that's awesome that you guys are getting that and that's fucking working for you.
Yeah, I mean, like we were talking about earlier, we're all like super good friends, and we put that above everything else. So like when we were going into it, we're like, I trust these guys actually being legally tied to a business with these guys, but it also holds you accountable because like if it's not tied to one person's finances, and it's like, for instance, like those purchases we made helps the band a lot. Also, if we don't pay them, that's on all 4 of our credits.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, it's not going to be on just mine. So it's like everyone is in this together to make sure that it works and that we, it gets paid one way or another. And so far it's been perfect.
Yeah.
It just works.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
I do think you guys need to go out on the road though.
We would love to.
Or maybe not the road, but like if you guys did like little runs.
I want to expand on that because I like what you were talking about because that's how that was our mindset too. Yeah. But the more and more I get into like because like I was a musician first. I was in a band. I was a singer, all that, whatever. And I didn't understand the back end of it, like what management companies are looking for, what booking agents are looking for. And it's always that thing, like, you think of, like, getting your CDL. You can't get your CDL unless you're driving bigger trucks, but you can't drive bigger trucks until you get your CDL. It's kind of one of those things where it's like booking agents don't look at you until you start going out on the road. Right. But you need a booking agent to get you out on the road. So it's like,
to go out on the road, you need people that actually want to attend your shows. So it's like
I know, I get it. Like, every time I've tried to book somebody in Nashville or I've tried to book my own band in Nashville, I get, have they ever played Nashville before?
Oh,
yeah. It's like,
I'm like, no,
how do you start
that's how we're, like, even if we're playing, like, just a local style show, like, that's all I'm looking for this group here. I'm not saying, and most of the time we're not looking for, a guarantee. It's just like, just get us in the doors. That's all I'm asking. And like, put us with some decent local bands that'll bring some people out. And then we can start making money for everybody.
What we look for is locals that people can come out for.
But I've gotten that. And I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get into Nashville if you keep asking me if I've played Nashville?
Be there or have been there already.
Like, I'm like,
this is where I start, right? I'm calling the right place, right?
Right. Like, I was just talking with Taylor Holden from the Hero the Monster. We were wanting to play some shows with those guys. We were really good friends with their guitarist, and we were like, he was like, so like in your analytics, like what's y'all's like top city? And I was like, well, the top 3 are all in Australia. So can't do that yet. But number 4 is Atlanta. And he's like, oh, number 1 is Atlanta for us. Yeah. And I was like, oh, sick. Well, if we have like enough people on there that are like regular listeners of ours, then I would be comfortable with us. Maybe let's make a video where it kind of strings together a couple of our music videos together and it advertises the show. Makes it big, exciting. It immediately proves to the person scrolling on Instagram or Facebook, these bands are good and these bands are they take themselves seriously.
They're worth paying.
They're worth paying money to see. Exactly. Yeah. I'd be willing to make a video like that, run some money directed strictly on Atlanta to advertise to people in Atlanta that like that kind of music that we will be coming, because there's already a little bit of a precedent of people that listen to our music there. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do that for a place that was any further away, or that there was just like, we don't think anyone knows we exist in this state, you know what I mean? But that's a good starting place, is like the Spotify for Artists app, and that is like an invaluable tool.
Oh yeah, awesome. I use it. I use it all the time.
People book tours based on Spotify analytics now.
That's another thing that I learned is like, I knew people cared about the numbers, but I didn't realize how important it was, dude. It's like number 1. Like
every time I get sent, and
you hit up a venue, it's like, what's your Spotify at? It's like,
every time I get sent something from a booking agent, that's what I get on there. Like a bunch of bands that I don't particularly know. Like we did the Until I Wake and Dark Divine, and who was the other one that played that one? It's another band that's on the come up, Catch Your Breath.
Yeah, Catch Your Breath,
I had never heard of it. I mean, like, I found my niche stuff like After the Burial of Veil Maya, and, I'm sure you guys know, working full job, doing your own band, there's not a lot of time to like, oh, let me search out new and exciting stuff. It's like, I got shit to do. Like, I don't have time to sit.
You're just old.
That too.
You're set in your ways.
You do one or the other. Because for me, all I do is listen to new music, but I never go back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you either listen to what you listen to,
Yeah.
or you listen to what you listen to. And for me, it's just I'm always listening. Okay, what came out this Friday? I'm just gonna listen to that, and that's how I kind of keep up with the state of music and how it's going. But I don't get a lot of time to go back and listen to my favorite albums or podcasts when I'm doing that. So it really is like one or the other. You don't have time for everything.
Well, that's the one thing they put on those things, like 100,000 streams on this. It's like the first thing until I wake.
Right.
1 million stream, about to hit 1 million streams on Spotify. So it is pretty fucking important that you promote your music.
Which that's actually like the number of streams and the number of monthly listeners is like usually what people are looking for. It's actually not even a super dependable metric to know, because like sometimes it could be most of those streams are concentrated in a tiny part of the country and the rest of the country doesn't know who the heck you are. But so you have to kind of like look into that. But the better thing to look at honestly is, and I don't even know if you could see this unless you're the artist yourself, how many followers you have. Like, so how many people said, I like this enough that I would like to be notified when they release new music?
Yeah.
Because a lot of those monthly listeners, hey, and we get a lot of attention and a lot of exposure from this, but a lot of that's playlists. And sometimes it might be, you've got, I don't know, 11,000 monthly listeners. That like a half of those or more could have just been people that were listening to a playlist, heard your song on it, and they didn't think twice. They didn't go follow you. Maybe they forgot you exist now. Yeah. But to like promoters, it looks like, oh, they have all these people that are listening to them every month. No, just this month. So a bunch of people maybe accidentally found us this month.
I understand that.
Yeah, can you see the followers when you're just looking at it?
I don't know.
You used to be able to. I think you still can on the desktop version, but not on your phone
which
anymore.
nobody looks on their. I'm probably the only one.
Not
that's
unless
in the
you're
world
behind like front of house.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you guys. So we're back on track with Afterdusk, because I feel like we've talked about COVID and Spotify, which is fine.
Yeah.
Point to take a break real quick because people are about to come in.
It was super hard to put that together, man. Let me tell you.
Right.
This thing is like you're doing.
We
as much as you say like, oh, you're just copying or whatever, but like you're anywhere you go, majority of jobs, you're wearing a uniform.
Right.
Wear the fucking uniform. Look like you're.
The way I always thought about it was like growing up, and even now, like people don't realize how important like the visual aspect of music is. Like from the music video to the marketing to the way they're dressed. People think, they just think about the music, but they've been impacted by the visuals, whether they know it or not.
Lights.
And so, lights.
Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
But like the way that a band dresses, I always think to myself when I'm watching a band, I'm like, if I were a kid, or I don't even have to say if I were a kid now, I'd be like, do I want to be that guy right now? Like, do I want to be like that person? Do I look up there and go, holy crap, I love like how he carries himself, how he's dressed, like beyond the music. Because there are some bands that, we've all seen them where we go up there and we're like, you look like you should be out down here watching.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And there's, sometimes you'll see people that are really talented that are like that. But I want to be, I always think about it from the perspective of there's a kid here or maybe somebody that's even my age. And when they look up there, I want them to be like, I'm inspired. Like that's kind of like what I want to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or like, I don't know. It's,
yeah, we were like that. We were like, if you're just like going to the mall or like fucing renting a car, like if you're leaving the house, look like you're in a band.
Yeah, we do that too. Like we don't just do it like on stage or whatever. Like I like to look good wherever I go, or by my standards, someone might be like, man, he looks like shit. But
I'll be honest with you before we cut back in, right?
Yeah.
You wear sunglasses a lot, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
I almost wore them for this.
You should have. At first, I was like, my instant thought was, it's kind of douchey.
Yeah.
And then I took a step back for a second. I was like, oh, dude, he's a fucking rock star. Like, he's doing the rock star thing. I was like, and then you guys are all in black, and I'm like, I like what he's doing there.
Bro, we'll play with him about that all the time. We're like, you douchebag.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
We give him so much shit.
Right?
No,
so much shit.
The thing is, it started out as a like I've wasn't always so extroverted. So it started out as a way, it was like, oh, if I have sunglasses on inside, it's a barrier between
I got you.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like Big Daddy.
It's
Like,
easier
when he puts
to just be in here and chill
It's-
and like
It's like the emo bangs where half your face is covered. You know?
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a social like thing.
Yeah, I
where
get
it.
it,
Made it
dude.
easier
Yeah.
for me to do that, but now it just looks douchey because I'm good at it now.
Yeah. No, but I appreciate it. No, like I could tell, dude, I could tell. I was like, okay, I know what he's doing. And because it was the same thing. I've had to have conversations with my vocalist about shit like that. And I've just been like, you're a vocalist, look like a vocalist, like take some chances here and there. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's cool, man. Like, but just take some chances. But then I always get like should I wear a mask or something? Like, no, we're not Slipknot.
No, we're not.
You know what I mean?
You don't want to be, like, you don't want to be stuck with that.
If it fits your music,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like actually, that's one thing I wanted to compliment you guys on too. Is like your look online
Should we
matched up. We're good. We're matched up with your name and like the style of music that you play. Like everything is just super consistent.
Yeah.
Like the look,
Yeah.
the sound, the name, like even the names of your songs. Like
Yeah.
I commend you guys on that because like
Thank you.
you found like your brand,
Yeah.
like your
Right.
personality, who you are online.
We try to make everything like the vibes like feel like they match. I mean, we had like our Ty Trahern, he does all of our graphics and everything. We had him come to the set of a lot of the music videos, even though he wasn't shooting them. He was there with Aaron. Aaron Berkshire was shooting them, and we were just like, we want you to be here because we want you to see the vibe of the music video.
Did
on
he did the
set,
picture with
so he can
was it the mirrors all laid out and
Those.
Oh yeah. The
is
well,
he the one who did that?
Yeah.
That that was a really
So
cool
that,
picture.
That picture was
Yeah.
taken at the music video shoot at Tangled Roots. And that was kind of on the fly thing.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like the album artwork. 'Cause it was
Super
so
cool, man.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We didn't know what to do for that last video, but I knew I wanted it to be like indoors, like in a weird, like we're in a house type setting, but like I wanted to kind of flip it. So what we ended up doing was, the song's called Tangled Roots. So like, and there's a lot of like imagery in the lyrics of like digging in soil and things like that. So I was like, what if we shot it in my living room? We just gut it, empty it out, take TV off the wall, get the couch out of there. My wife loved this, by the way. She absolutely loved it.
She's
wives
OCD and hated it.
wives tend to love all
We
the ideas.
poured
Yeah.
500 pounds of soil in her living room.
Yeah,
Her
so
eyes were twitching.
Hardwood floor.
Yeah.
We went to like Lowe's and bought like the really thick plastic, that
Yeah.
you could unroll on the ground. Went to buy a ton of soil, dumped it on the ground, and then we just went in my backyard, which there's some woods out there, and we just started like pulling crap out of the woods. So we found
That's
like
awesome,
dead
dude.
branches and thorns and sticker briars.
And if you go back and watch the music video, you can see there's like dead vines that we found that we wrapped around like my my cymbal stands.
it looks like it's
that's
crawling
good.
up the
That's
cymbal
awesome.
stands.
That's cool.
Actually, one side of the set, all of the plants and everything on it, it's all dead and brown, and then the other side is all green. It's all like actual stuff that's still living,
Yeah. That's cool, man.
But we did that, and so I turned my living room into a forest, which I thought was, I don't know, maybe it didn't translate, but I thought it was kind of cool to see like plants and dirt, and then there's like a power outlet. You know what I mean? Like the colliding of like two.
Big ups
different
to your
elements.
wife.
Yeah,
big ups
right.
to your wife.
Yeah, she was.
My
she was
wife
a
would have
pro.
lost her fucking mind,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
And then the next day we did the Dreamscapes music video in that same place. So her living room stayed destroyed for
for like
two
Two
days.
days.
Yeah.
But we weren't even planning on.
He's still
making-
killing ants and bugs
Yeah.
and shit that are left over.
Luckily, we didn't get any bug issues or whatever.
Yeah.
But
That's
we
dope,
weren't
though.
even expecting to make the album art that day. We didn't really know what direction we wanted to go. We knew we wanted it to be like an accumulation of all the subject matters we'd use for the EPs, because we'd use like the hourglass, the skull, the lantern, and the candle. But we didn't know how we were going to make those come together. And then like right there, because I had printed out, they can't see it, but the skull picture's up there. Taylor's family gave us these giant golden picture frames that had like old family photos of like her mom and like her granddad in, and like old photos. And it was so funny because they were all like rigged up so that you just couldn't take the picture out like a normal thing. They were like literally screwed, like canvases that are screwed into these stinking picture frames. So we had to like carefully take out the family heirlooms.
Oh, jeez.
I had to go to Walmart, print out those pictures to go in the photos. And then because my idea was to just have those hanging on the wall in the video, and they are. Yeah. But then that same day, Ty was like, I have an idea, everybody come here. And he threw it all on the ground, and he took that picture, and then later he sent us our album art. We're like, dude.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we weren't even planning on it. He was like, here's the album cover. And we're like, yes, that's the album cover.
Your wife is just sitting in the bedroom going, I love him. I love him.
Yes.
I love him.
She's like, what is this?
Dude, that's a big thing, though, man, having a
Exactly.
girl that supports you, man. Like, my wife, dude, I have to kick her out for rehearsals because I've got, like, a full PA set up and everything. And I'm like, get out. Like,
all right, and everybody shut up about your wives and girlfriends, you assholes.
No, wait, hey, one
But
thing
Some
I
of
will
us are
say,
single over here.
It's so great being in a band with 4 people that are in relationships, because every time we go to a show or every time we go out on the road, like, we all got our girls. Half of them do merch.
Yeah, you're not off worrying about
Yeah.
somebody going to a hotel room or some shit.
I'm not worried. Like, I was drum teching for.
Where'd
like,
Mike go?
Yeah, when I was in like
Tinder?
high school, I got a chance to go drum tech for this band out of Birmingham, and the vocalist was gone, like, every single date. He had someone that he knew in that city, and he would disappear to a hotel room right until like 10 minutes before they went on stage, and then he'd disappear again afterwards.
Oh, wow.
It was like,
Good
man,
for
I don't
him.
want to have to worry. Yeah.
yeah.
It was like, I don't want to have to worry about that. And plus, like, we don't have to worry about, like, anything else, like getting canceled for stupid shit. So, like we don't have anyone in the band that's going to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, we just got our girls, and we're happy, and we're content, and, like, we're going to do our thing.
Right.
There's
Yeah,
one less
that's
thing we got to
awesome.
worry about.
Yeah. And it's cool. They help out, do merch. My
Yeah.
wife helps out and does merch like every show she can. And that's fucking awesome, because then, you know, you're freed up to
Told you guys to shut up.
be a band member. You know, you're freed up to do band stuff and
not
like
bitter.
talk to fans and stuff like
Yeah.
that, which is a huge, you know, you turn people off if you're not there to talk to them and be a part of like the whole experience with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I get like those messages all the time. Like, I try to online with the social media and stuff. Like, I try to answer. Like, if people say stuff in the comments, I try to answer and and at least put something in there is on every comment that I can.
Right. That's what
Even if it's bad, I'll usually answer like,
Yeah.
thank you. I always do the thank you for the constructive criticism. We will
we
take
do
that
the
into.
same
We
thing.
appreciate it. We appreciate you
Right.
just
There's
checking
always
us
gonna
out.
be
You know, and
haters out
like
there, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I never comment anything bad on anything. Like, I could not agree with something.
Right.
Comment or like somebody's status on Facebook. I never ever interject. I'm just like, whatever.
Right.
That's their opinion.
What's funny is the people that do say like shitty things, or like, you know, when people are like doing it in good faith, or if they're like just trying to hurt feelings or something. Because like, there's some people where it's like, obviously you're just being honest there, and then this guy's trying to be an asshole on purpose. But they do it because they don't expect to get a response.
Yeah.
Oh,
We respond
yeah,
to
yeah.
everybody. Like,
Yeah,
so-
yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah.
don't, and by that I don't mean we don't come back and be an asshole to them. They just don't expect for you to have actually read it.
Yeah.
And then especially to say something sweet to them, they're like, "Oh crap!" We've had people like DM us, be like, "Hey, I didn't mean to be an asshole."
Oh, we've
Like,
had that too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had
it
people
was
be like,
like-
"I'm sorry I said that," and I'm
Right.
like, "Why are you
Like,
It's like,
starting
it's fine,
stuff?
but like you should know people read the things you post online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind if people don't like something. It's so
Right.
easy to just not say anything.
Yeah.
Like,
I
why?
think that if
Just
you,
move on. Yeah,
you
that's
don't-
all you
yeah.
gotta do is move
if you
on.
don't have
There's so
any
much
haters,
content
though, you're
out
not
there.
really you're not really doing anything.
You're right.
That's catching
Yeah.
anybody's
When you have
attention.
haters, you're on the right path, man.
Yeah.
Look at Bring Me the Horizon. They were hated for their entire
They
career.
still
They
are.
still
yeah,
are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it switches. The people that hate
And
them
they're
and love them
they're like
switches
Yeah.
depending on the
Crying
album.
with their money,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
like that
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle thing. Where
I've
Yeah.
I came in to Bring Me the Horizon on that Sepaternal album, so I'm like,
A lot
I've
of
just
people
liked
did,
everything that they've done since then. Oh, the pop punk song is pretty catchy that they just did.
Yeah.
Forgot the one where
Yeah.
They cut his head off and he's running around the insane asylum.
One that's super My Chemical
It
Romance.
wasn't a super like in my, like I don't search out music like that, but I was like at the end, like humming it in my head for like a week afterwards, and I was just like, holy shit, like I'm not really digging it, but man, they're catchy as hell. Like they got me. I'm humming it in my head, like as I'm going places.
Expect
like
the next song to not be that either. Like if anytime Bring Me released a song where I was like, yeah, that one's not really for me. I wasn't like real down on it, like because the next one's probably gonna blow my mind.
Yeah,
it'll be
that's
a complete
really
left
good
turn.
point,
You know?
And they put on one of the best concerts I've ever seen. Like it was one of the coolest ones I went to. I told him all the time. Like they played that "Can You Feel My Heart," and was their opening song, and like this confetti bomb went off right as it hit, for the intro, and I was like, holy shit, this is cool. And like the light show, the guys were on stages, fucking Ollie did great. I was like, man, this is fucking cool, dude. Like
Chris has got to see them, I believe. Did you get to see them?
Yeah, I saw him in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think that's where it was. I didn't get to go to that.
I saw him in New Orleans at the House of Blues, and it was pretty
mine
cool.
Was at the Masquerade.
Oh yeah, it's dope.
Yeah. Well, it was fucked because that same night, Architects was playing across the street.
Oh
no way!
Oh dang!
Oh wow!
Bring Me the Horizon and Architects.
No, Chris went to go see Architects. I went to go see Bring Me the
Oh,
Horizon.
Really?
Oh, that's funny.
That's wild.
They're playing at a different venue. Just oh wow!
Yeah,
wow,
different venue. It was insane. I was like, I can't believe I'm missing Architects right now, but I'm also getting to see Bring Me, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
crazy.
Architects, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking love them.
Bring Me, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
crazy.
Architects, dude.
Yeah.
I fucking love them. But my question before we took a little break was, so I want to learn from you guys. So like, what are each individually, like, what's one thing that before you got in a band you wish you like knew before like starting a band?
There's so much,
Lots
man.
of stuff. Lots of stuff.
Look,
Like, what's one thing that like people wouldn't think of? You know what I mean? Like I can think of a few, but
Mine is how it becomes a business immediately.
Yeah.
Like you think it's going to be you playing on stage, and the majority of it is, oh shit, I have to like do business stuff, and like like that's crazy to me.
I wish I knew that information you get and how to navigate this industry is almost irrelevant as soon as it reaches your ears because it's changing so much.
Yeah.
When I was a
really good point.
kid. When I was a kid, I was like, I would be watching these YouTube videos and watching bands be like, this is how we did it. This is like our come up story. And I'd be thinking, yeah, that's how I need to do it. And it would be like, no, if you did it that way, you'll go nowhere now. Because they did it that way in that point in time. And they didn't know they were doing the right thing, most of them anyway.
Yeah.
And it worked out. But because of the technology changes, that's not how you can go about it nowadays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Technology changes, social media sites change.
it's how I feel
How many
about
MySpace do you hear with
TikTok.
like a little bit older bands, and now
That's-
it's something else?
TikTok is one of the big ones now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
one thing that I think like I wish I would have honed in on like when I started out was the online presence thing. Like if I feel like I was so focused on the music aspect and playing shows and doing all of that, I wasn't really on social media. Like I had a MySpace right after everyone migrated to Facebook, like, and then I got on Facebook and didn't really think much of it. Didn't really see the potential that it had for like promoting businesses and brand. I wasn't in that mindset. So I really feel like if I would have from day one of starting a band put together an email list, and started band pages and like personal pages and growing those
a
like
website
intentionally,
and all that. Yeah.
like I could be so much farther. But that's just one of those hindsight things.
No,
it's like,
exactly.
well, we know it now and we know the
Well,
importance of it now.
Yeah, for the podcast, like I say all the time, like I think it's like a learning. Like I want to be able to teach people stuff too. So like you make a fantastic point. Like that's one thing we never even thought of. I mean, I think we were a band for like years before we were like, oh, let's start focusing on Instagram and Facebook and all these things other bands are doing. Like,
You know what I find really interesting right now is that there's a bunch of bands that were like a huge deal in like the 2000s, and then they broke up, or maybe they fell off and they haven't released an album in years. And I've noticed that like a lot of those people, if it was like sometimes between like 2000, 2008, they never really built up an Instagram or a Facebook follow. They didn't, because it wasn't that time yet. And then they fell off. Well, now when they're coming back, now they're having to start from scratch doing that. And it's really weird. Like, this is a band, I don't know how many, if you guys will even know, there's a band, the first rock band that I ever listened to, and it made me go, holy crap, what is this music? They were called Pillar. They're like a Christian rock band. I've heard of them. They had a number of like hits on MTV. Bring Me Down was one of the big songs. Anyway, that's kind of like their story, is like they were late 90s all the way up to like the probably early 20-teens before they kind of went inactive. And then I found out that they had an Instagram page, and then I followed them recently, and I would check it like once a week because they were just like sharing memories and stuff. And I was like, I wonder if they're going to do a comeback. And but every time I would check it, they'd be up by like another 1,000 follows. And I'm like, it's so funny because when I first found it, my band had more followers than this band that has sold thousands and hundreds of thousands of records, like, and won awards and crap, and inspired me as a kid. And I'm like, we have more followers than them right now because they fell off before Instagram took off. And then every time I come back, I'm like, infinite growth. It's just so funny
all
to
the
see
people that found them when you did, like, are now like catching on.
Exactly. They're starting to figure out, they're moving online right now, so it's so funny.
It's how I feel about like people that talk about like the inspirational people on like TikTok and Instagram. Like, they'll be like, this is what I did to get rich, or this is what I did to get to this point. And it's like, yeah, that's what you did. Right. But like, it doesn't mean that's gonna work for me either. Everyone has their own
shortcuts.
There's
no shortcuts. If you see someone and something looks like easy that they're doing, it's because they have thousands of hours of experience into that, where they failed until they finally got to the point where they could do it, and then got to the point where they could do it easily.
Right.
There is no handouts. There's nothing other than hard work that's going to go into it, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's putting in work on the road, doing weekenders and doing shows, building up that way, or whether it's putting in effort online,
right,
and spending hours, researching, okay, what is this outlet that we can reach out to talk to, and who is this person that we can kind of like team up with to do something cool, and what if we teamed up with this, merch company to do this limited drop, whatever it is, like, you just have to do it at some point. Right. You can be researching for forever and ever, but nothing's going to happen until you actually just do it, and you're going to fail. You're going to suck.
Yeah, exactly.
That's another thing. I knew when we were first starting out, I was like, I know we're going to suck, and I know we're going to think we're good. So,
because it'll be the best we've been up to this point. But in the grand scheme of things, not as much,
Yeah. So, I mean, you're going to suck for a while, whether that's writing songs or managing a band or, doing business, like whatever you're doing.
Right.
But you just have to suck for a while. It's the first step to being good at something.
That's actually another thing that I was going to say. If I were going to like bring up like the number one thing that I wish I knew when we were starting out, it's that, like, I think when bands first start out, they make a mistake of, they look at you. Obviously, everybody's got their heroes and their idols, and they go, I want to do what this guy's inspired me to do. So they look at the Ollie Sykes of the world, or the Sam Carters, or the, whatever it is at the time, and they go, I can't be that. No way I can be that. And then no one will ever compare me to those people. Like, so I'm going to settle for something that's way down here. And this is what I will strive for. And they want to strive for little things, to move up the ranks of that. And I'm like, if you don't think you can be that, you won't ever be that.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
I'm not saying from the start.
That goes for the band too. Yeah.
Right. Now, be humble. I'm not saying like you need to be like, oh yeah, I'm just as good as all the best guys that's been doing it for forever. No, but you have to see that potential in you, and then you've got to try to settle for nothing less. Because I think like I said, we're really blessed that in the day and age where the technology is, where the industry is, things are at your fingertips if you want to work hard to get it. Previously, it wasn't that way. We lived in a monoculture where all of the labels had all of the power, because if you weren't played on radio, no one knew who the heck you were. There was no streaming. If you didn't shoot a music video unless it was playing on MTV, because music videos don't go anywhere else back then. Yeah. So these days you can, hire someone who's a professional, work with them, and then make something great, and people will still find it regardless of who's propping you up, as long as you do the research to figure out how to get it in front of people's faces.
Or you can do it yourself, which is that's the thing that's been like I've just been so excited about. Is like we filmed our own music video. Mm-hmm. We did a pretty damn good job. Like when it came back, so we filmed it. My other guitarist edited it and sent it back to me. And the first draft he sent back, I was like, did we just put together a music video? Like, we can do this shit? And we did it in like 2 days. It was just like he flew down here. We rented a cool camera and a cool lens. Right. And we just fucking put it together. I was like, holy shit. Like, this is better than kind of some of the shit I saw in the 80s. You know what I mean? Like, fucking, this is cool that we just did this. And I think a lot of people get wrapped around the fucking edges of like, not trying or not like, oh, we can't do that. Fucking, like, you can do it. You just got to put the fucking hard work in it.
Like he said, the first couple things you do might really suck, and you really do need to be honest with yourself about that. But if you think you can't do it, then you won't. You know? Yeah. You might think, I didn't do it this time, but I can. So you try again. Mm-hmm. I can do it. Yeah. You know, and eventually you'll get there.
There's YouTube. Just watch a lot of YouTube.
Right, YouTube.
I went to like YouTube, university, man. When I was trying to learn how to do like After Effects and like all the Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator and all that, and like stayed up till like 3 a.m. learning stuff.
I used to watch videos on vocalists talk about what they do, drummers, because that's one big thing is like talking to drummers. It's like I had no idea how to talk to a drummer, like. You know the thing.
Literally last night.
You do this thing, and I'm doing this thing.
Yeah, right.
And then,
like, now is that on the tongue?
And
What's
so,
yeah.
And I'm like, and I still have a problem with that because like there's only so much time in the day. But like I would watch videos just to be like, you know,
it's like learning another
it's
language.
Like because I'd be like a skank beat or whatever it's called, like a skank beat or something like that. Is that what it's called? I was like, dude. Like a punk beat, like that's what I'm kind of thinking. And then he's like, oh, and then he translated into what he does, you know. And then I'm like, but just to learn that so I could communicate what I'm thinking in my head.
It's
know?
like Google Translator.
Oh
dude.
man, it
like
is.
Guitarist to drummer
or like vocalist. I would tell my vocalist, I'm like, this is your
English
instrument.
To Spanish.
You'd listen to vocalists. I'm like, hey, this is my instrument. I got to take care of myself. I can't like have acid reflux, and I can't smoke, and I can't. And I'm like, oh, okay, information. And then I would go to my vocalist, and I'd be like, hey, man. You know, like you need to warm up before. You need to like you're losing your voice. You're not supposed to be.
Dude, there's no
That's what they all say. You know,
like at least somewhat proficient in something that you're trying to do when stuff like this exists. You can watch a podcast. You can watch something on YouTube. It's so
How many
easy
of
to
us
find
like
this stuff.
learned our instruments through YouTube?
Oh,
I didn't.
Like I did.
But YouTube didn't exist when I was
mine was all by ear, which is why
I
had a threshold I hit though.
I started out playing drums, but I learned guitar through YouTube 100%.
Oh wow.
Like that was the one thing that like taught me how to play like that instrument was just going in, okay, let me see the how-to video to how to play this song and then do this one and just practicing and practicing. So I mean it's invaluable. I mean I flunked out of AP chemistry because all I did in that class was watch like live music videos, like festivals and like interviews with bands, and I'm trying to figure out, like, I was writing notes on that when I should have been writing AP chemistry notes. I was like, okay, so you got to do this, and this to do this. Like, it was what I was interested in, and I, like, now at that same high school, they have programs in place where they, you know who Steel Panther is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steel Panther played my old high school. They played my old high school, Foley High School.
No way.
Yes, they did.
That's different.
And
for a high school.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I'm sure there's some songs they had to cut out of there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The arts department, which linked up with our band director and like the band department, created a live like visual and audio department.
Oh,
so
cool.
The task was for all of the students to put together a stage, a light show, and everything for a band, and then they book a band to come play at the school, but they put on the entire show. You have someone running front of house audio that's in the high school. You have someone running lights that are in the high school. You have stage techs, that are in the high school. So they did that all.
That's dope.
I wish I would have had that when I was
Yeah, right?
That's
Same.
sick.
Yeah.
That doesn't even sound real.
I might have
Yeah, that sounds like a Nickelodeon thing.
No,
Like Disney
movie. It was legit.
That's awesome.
I might have passed chemistry if they did that.
Oh, I know, dude.
Right? Yeah,
That's
you would have been
dope.
getting it out of your system.
It's like a trade school for the music.
Oh, yeah,
industry.
that's
it's awesome.
that's
Dude,
cool.
What they're doing
Super
over there
Our
is
future
awesome.
stagehands guys
Yeah,
and
right.
sound guys and light guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going over there and like recruiting people to come on tour with us.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
right,
yeah, dude.
Fuck, I'll do that for
Well,
my
those are the
VIP
best
thing.
people, too.
Yeah.
That ain't got nothing
Isn't-
going on.
Isn't it crazy that like the music industry, like there are like thousands and thousands of jobs for that with demand for people that know how to do that stuff and be experts in it, but there is no school for it
No.
for the most
Yeah.
part. Like maybe
I mean, yeah,
I'm sure there's something little somewhere, but like it's not a common thing, and it's mostly just like you're passionate about this and you did this for like your local venue for a long time, and then like cool. You know
well,
what
it's
I mean?
mostly musicians that get involved in, you know
Yeah.
what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's like kids
Yeah.
that play guitar and then they're just like, well, I haven't started a band and
Yeah.
this is my way to get on the road.
Literally-
And then once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, dude,
It's
literally
almost like a
everyone that we
clique.
work with was in a band at some point.
Yeah.
Jonathan was in a band at some point. Ty is still doing music, and he's still doing all of the stuff that he does as well.
Aaron was in a band.
Aaron was a vocalist and a drummer of a band at one point, right? And I mean, even like Chris does photography on the side, and he's shot for like Motionless in White before, and like some big names. And like I'm getting into front of house audio more and more. So I'm starting to shadow people at some local venues over here. But it really is like an itch that like you can never scratch. So even if you're in a band, if you have that drive, you're like, I got to do more. Okay, we just did a release. We're not doing anything this week. Let me go do some like front of house audio. Let me go shoot some photography
Yeah,
at
that's
some
cool.
local shows. Let me see what else I can do while we're not doing anything. So it really is like if you have that drive, you have that drive,
Right.
and you're always going to be doing something.
Well,
Yeah.
I've gotten into booking shows and I've recorded people. I haven't mixed. I'm not
Same
claiming to,
here.
but I've recorded people so that they could send it off to be mixed. And just doing that was just getting into my own band and like, well, I guess we can do this.
Right.
Like I can send this off to a mix engineer. I just got to learn how to record and get everything cross-faded and lined up and on time. And we did 2 of our albums that way. And so I've done a couple
You did
people
2
since.
of your albums crossfaded?
No, that'd be dope.
Yeah, he was wasted.
No, I just recorded them in my office, and then sent them off. And then I'm just like, hey, just throw me like $50 and I'll record your song, and then you can send it off. Where you'd have to pay a couple $100 if you go into the studio and do it. I was like, if you're just sending it off, I can record it for you. You ain't got the gear. And I've done that for a couple bands. I'm doing it for, Taylor Tidwell. He was in A Curse Creator. Now he's in Unaligned. He's in Unaligned and Visitant and Withered Throne. And I've been recording him to send stuff off. But it's just like you get into stuff doing that kind of stuff. Like the booking thing was like, oh, he doesn't have very many metal shows at his business, his venue. And I know that there's a, market for that shit. And I was like, well, I can always book my band here. Yeah. And then you just start kind of booking shows and learning how to do that. It's the same thing with like audio and all that. I tell all my guys to I'm like, guys, you're in the music industry. There's so much shit around you. I'm like, we're at a venue for 4 hours. Like Ben, my
tours are
vocalist, I'm
looking
like,
for people a lot,
go
too.
talk to somebody about audio. Go learn how to do it. Yeah. If you learn how to do it, then you can do it. Yeah. And there's always somebody looking for somebody like that. I'm like,
yeah, dude. We know people that are on these big name tours that are running lights and sound and they're managing, and they're begging us for people. Like, does anyone know anyone who is is worth half a shit at running audio?
That's half my Facebook, dude, because it's all
audio,
old friends from the music industry
that
are
so everyone,
out touring.
If you just put in the work and learn the shit, there's opportunities out there. You can be on tour with a big name act next week. Yeah. You just got to put in the work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work too, being on the road.
It is.
So with the VIP thing, I'll go out on the road and do meet and greets and all that. But like the loadouts and load-ins and getting at the hotel at 6, waking up at 8, and hitting the road again, it's a lot of work. But
Yeah.
I think back in my 20s, it was a lot of fun.
Right.
not so much anymore, but. I mean, some people are built for it. I know dudes that are like 50 years old still driving buses and stuff. It's just their thing. They love it. So.
Dude, I remember the last year of Warped Tour, which was 2018. Wasn't it the last year? There's this dude.
My band played that.
I don't know who he was.
Everything went to shit after that.
Yeah. I don't know who this dude was, but I went to like the last 4 years of that tour, like all in a row. And every single year, I don't know what his name is. He deserves more credit. This old dude, he looks, I'm telling you, in his mid to late 60s, maybe even his early 70s, long white hair, never wore a shirt. And like after like every other 2 to 3 bands, I would see him coming out, picking up giant things, moving it off set, just a roadie. And he was always there for Warped Tour. And I'm like, this old dude is kicking ass. Like,
he's living the dream, bro. He loves this shit. So.
Yeah, he got famous there for a little while because he left like a year before it ended.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, but he was famous in the Warped Tour circuit.
The Warped Roadies when they had that on YouTube.
Because he was like the head roadie.
Oh, okay.
Like, he was the head of all of that.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
He was the Burger King.
He was the Burger King.
I should have seen all those guys that came with Max Cavalero.
I saw all of them. I was there that night. Yeah,
they were all old guys.
Caballero. Jeez, what is he, a Camaro?
No, what's his last name?
Chevy Cavallero.
What's his last name?
Cavalera.
Cavalera, sorry. My bad. The Sepultura guy.
Yeah.
Those guys were all old as shit. They were not having it either. They were not impressed with anyone. They were all grumpy old dudes, bro.
Dude,
no, they were cool. I like that mentality because they were like, get the fuck out of my way. I've been doing this for 50 years. Just move, you know?
Right.
But then you have those other guys.
And they're
like,
good at it. So.
Yeah. But then you have those other guys that are like stuck in their old way. Like I remember we played one show at a Handlebar. And I walked outside, and this old dude came up to me and was like, "You don't need a fucking China."
Oh yeah.
He's like,
that.
I've been playing drums for 56 years, and I've never once needed a China cymbal. And I'm like, but I want a China.
Yeah, right. It sounds
cool,
man. Like.
You don't need a splash.
Yeah. Dude, that's the old school, man. I try not to be like that.
Listen, old man, get off the ride cymbal, okay?
Yeah, right.
Stop playing the ride cymbal.
You know, because I grew up listening to Slipknot and like Mudvayne and Korn, and like I still love that stuff. It's not what I listen to regularly, but like, you hear it a lot. Like, oh, these like young dudes with this new music and the backing tracks and blah blah blah, and everyone complains about it. I'm like, dude, it's cool. Like. It sounds awesome.
Right.
Like,
Dude,
stop hating.
I remember I
it.
saw this tweet from Ronnie Radke, and Falling in Reverse had just played this huge festival, and he got a video of this old dude in the front row, and it was Popular Monster was the song they were playing. And there's rap parts and then there's heavy metal parts, right? And this old man had he had earplugs. And he would literally put his earplugs in for the rap parts, and then when the rock parts came on, he'd take them off and he'd be rocking out. And then he'd start rapping again, he'd put them back in.
That's so funny.
And he made a point. He was like, "Hey, he knows what he likes.
At
least he showed up and he's having a good time."
Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
He's not throwing tomatoes or
he's
something.
Not throwing tomatoes.
He could have been.
Yeah.
They did that back in his day. So
Right. All that stuff's coming back though, man. You mentioned like Slipknot and Korn and all that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the metals.
Everybody's.
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit rules, dude. They'll never.
I saw
be
a
bad.
post about everybody's posting about Creed. Apparently,
Dude, Creed. Yeah, they
see
did
that
something
shit?
on their social media.
Yeah.
They might be doing like a tour or
We
something.
will talk about that off camera.
I will definitely go see Creed.
that first album was great, dude.
No, I'm not talking shit. I just know.
The only thing I will
Oh.
say is the only thing that they might run into is Scott Stapp is aware that his voice has become a meme.
Yeah.
And he's like super loving about it. Like I've watched some interviews and he's like, "No, dude, I think it's great. Whether you think it's silly or whatever, like it's cool to be a part of culture no matter what it is, you know?" And obviously, I think they've had all the validation that they need from selling a diamond record in the
I
freaking
know.
late 90s or early 2000s. Like, all of you can get, fuck off.
Yeah,
At that point.
I know.
But
that first album was It was great.
Shit,
It
dude,
was,
I liked their. I
yeah.
like their comeback record. There's actually some super like heavy songs on that. Came out like 2009 or something like that. Overcome.
I've always been a fan of Mark Tremonti, so
yeah,
he's
But
such a great guitar player, dude.
I was gonna say they haven't played shows in like a decade, so I'm kind of worried that there might be this thing where like they get out there, everyone knows the songs, but no one's singing it normal. Everyone's out there with arms wide open, and you just hear a whole crowd mocking his voice.
Dude,
Could be.
no, there's no way he doesn't own it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
He'll be
right.
like, where's the arms wide open?
He probably would. He probably just starts
He's gonna
smiling.
lean into
like,
it even more.
Yeah,
dude.
that's what I
Right?
mean.
Yeah, maybe so.
There was one year at the
that's what I would do.
VMAs, or it was one of those huge like shows where they were doing like a award ceremony something. But A Day to Remember played it, and they brought out Scott Stapp.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
To play "Can You Take Me Higher" with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
that's awesome.
It was memed front and back, but he was loving it.
They
man.
understood
It
what
was
they were
amazing.
doing. That's
Dude,
awesome.
Kevin Scaff.
He
you
just
could
checks
see
his
him
bank
grinning.
account. He's like, I'll fucking play along
Right,
too, dude.
right.
Kevin and Neil, their guitarists, were just sitting there grinning ear to ear the entire
That's
time.
awesome.
They're like,
That's
this
cool.
is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we need to wrap this up, but I wanted to start something new. I didn't talk to you about this, but what's something, because you guys are musicians and that's all we kind of know about you.
Yeah.
What's something interesting about you guys that you would, like, people wouldn't know about you?
I'm a huge dork. I collect action figures. I have like a museum of like Marvel and Transformers and
That's cool.
stuff like that at
Yeah.
my house. Like 10 years of a lot of money.
I have a lightsaber, bro. Got
Oh,
a
yeah?
Disney. Yeah, me and my daughter got lightsabers at Disney. I have nerd shit in my room too, dude.
Gotcha.
If you look at any of our playthrough videos, there's
Yeah.
like Predator.
Oh, sick.
And like xenomorphs from fucking Aliens and
Oh,
shit. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I have
yeah.
all that
No,
shit too.
he has
Yeah.
a room filled.
Oh, really?
With action.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
He has every variation of
Should do a
Spider-Man
video and
figures.
put it on
about-
YouTube, bro.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
Yeah,
this is
maybe.
my
Put it on
room.
the Afterdusk
That would,
channel.
yeah, that'd be cool as shit, dude. Like, hey, just showing you like my room.
Look, we just inspired something new.
cribs,
for
dude.
Afterdusk.
Like cribs from fucking MTV, dude. Yeah.
When they start posting this stuff, it started here.
Started here. Yeah, right. Exactly.
There's a lot of people who would probably love to see like your collection.
Probably.
You know,
yeah.
I would watch it,
And then-
I would be like, oh, that's fucking
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
Dude.
And then lock it all up because people are gonna hunt you down.
Right, right.
You get private security.
Oh my
Your
God.
figures.
So what's your thing?
My thing is like I'm boring as hell.
Nice.
I
like it.
I am very much like focused on my job and the band, and I don't own any video game consoles. Like I don't play video games. I don't watch TV a whole lot. Like I watch podcasts and like YouTube stuff. I'll read books all the time. Now that's more of a recent development. But I'm starting to read more and just try to like intake knowledge. And I do a lot of focusing on like computer stuff for the band and for my work and for everything else. Like I'm also like a manager over 14 chicken restaurants in 3 different states. So I do a lot of work like all the time.
Yeah.
I don't sleep. But that being said,
That's his interesting thing. He doesn't sleep.
yeah. I'm also an
He doesn't,
insomniac.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't sleep at all. But
I feel that.
That being said, that's like the most detrimental thing to me being like the person that gets connections for the band and talks to people, because a lot of the time the other 3 guys have way more to talk about with whoever else we're talking with, because they have this like this video game that they're both playing, so they can bond over that.
yeah.
Or he has like all the Marvel stuff that he really likes, and he can bond with that over someone. And I'm over here like, have you read this leadership book?
Oh my God.
None
Or
of
I'm
us
just
are-
talking about music.
Yeah. Yeah.
None of us are really like into sports or anything. Like he's probably the most into sports, but
Yeah.
unless I'm wrong, it's probably more like a you and your dad bond over that thing, and less of a you're just personally passionate about it.
I like going to hockey games, and I
Is that your sport? You like hockey?
I like going to hockey games. It's not my sport, but I
Yeah.
love like going and drinking and
Yeah.
watching them fight.
Yeah,
So-
hockey is like for not my last birthday. I think we all went to a hockey game. And we went to like 3 or 4 sets. So
cool.
like,
the
we're not
Pensacola
like
Ice Flyers.
we don't know
Ice
anything
Flyers,
about the
nice.
teams.
Yeah, those
really,
are
but
fun
we're just like it's
games.
fun
Yeah, I
to
do
watch
like
it in
them.
person. But that's about the most involved in a sport I've ever.
Me and him
Yeah.
just went to the whatchamacallit, the Wahoos.
Oh, nice.
game
Nice.
yesterday. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a good game.
It's like 5 home runs. It was fucking great.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I played a bunch in like in high school and middle school, like a bunch of different sports. But I really like college football. That's my thing.
Okay.
Like Alabama, Auburn, LSU, like A&M, like just watching everything.
Who's your team?
People are shutting this off right now.
No.
I have Alabama
one of them.
all
Are
the
you out?
way.
Oh,
can
you're
only
roll
have
tide
one.
all the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alabama all the way. And they
People
only-
are definitely
There's the
shutting
one.
this off right now.
Either that or they're going, yeah, roll tide.
Yeah. Roll
Yeah.
We got three viewers right now.
Right.
My wife is watching this right now. She's an
Yeah.
Alabama
But
fan.
that's always been my stuff, and my sister's an Auburn fan, just to spite the rest of the family.
War Eagle, baby.
Yeah.
War Eagle.
But
She
we love it.
is
We love
definitely
it. It's
not
a
watching.
rivalry. It's fun. We try not to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
Well, sweet. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
One more thing. What do you guys got coming up? Because I'm not quite sure when this will air. I'm hoping soon. But what do you got coming up for like fall, winter time, just in case?
We're looking to release, at the very least, another single with a music video before the end of the year to kind of kick off the next album cycle. We're about halfway into the record. Like, we've got 4 songs that are mixed, mastered, complete, 2 other ones that are written. We just got to finish tracking them in the studio. And then by the time we release the first music video and everything, we'll be working on the second half of the record, which we'll probably release in segments again like we did the last time. Not probably so many. We probably won't do 4.
Yeah.
We're thinking about doing it like in halves. You know what I mean? But
Don't give away all the secrets now.
again, this could change, but we plan on having something out before the end of the year. So we have
Right
a good
on.
idea what it is. So
I will say, like, the new songs are the best songs we've ever written.
yeah, 100%.
Like, hands down, and I cannot wait to release these because people's reactions are going to be insane. Like, half of people are going to hate it, like, and the other half are gonna love it, like love it.
I don't know. I feel like if you like us already, you'll definitely love all of the new songs that we've written already. But I don't think it's going to be the direction that you think we were going to go with it. It's not a repeat.
Even with the
I
album,
I like that.
Yeah.
Because even with the album, there's some songs where people are like, you need to do this more. I love this. Only do this. And then you have other songs where you're like, screw that song. I hate that one. I like all the others.
Yeah, we do.
Look
have
at who
that.
the biggest band is right now in like the genre is Bring Me the Horizon.
Yep.
And they do whatever the fuck they want whenever the fuck they want. Do whatever the fuck you want. And fucking, if you're stirring up a hornet's nest, then you're doing something good. Cause,
yeah, we're going to have fun with it.
yeah, people are going to talk about Afterdusk regardless. So people are going to still be talking about you. So fuck them.
This next album might be all bluegrass. You know.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Well, you might get some hate then. You might get.
That's why you guys were afraid to say what genre you are at the beginning of the show.
I'm the
Well, we know what we have.
I just joined. I'm the washboard player.
I don't think we'll ever stray from being a metal band in some capacity, but I think we'll put different flavors on it every time. Like, that's what we're passionate about, and we're not like
they're the Guy Fieri of metal music.
Yeah, we're going to take you to Flavor Town, but you're going to the same Flavor Town every time with some new flavors. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, that's good though. All right, that's good though.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thanks, guys.
That was a great answer,
this was
and I
awesome,
look
man.
forward to hearing it. I'm sure a lot of people. I'm a huge fan of you guys. It was fun to watch you guys at Vinyl when I was there the other night, and congratulations on everything you're doing, and keep it up.
thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching Mosh Pits.
Thanks.